everyone, I'm back again today with another card, and I'll be using the Honeybee stamp set by Stampin' Up. I'll just be using a sentiment in that set. And then I'm also using a stamp set from the March 2020 Paper Pumpkin. I believe that's Paper Pumpkin. Yeah. And I'm just doing like a fun little rain boot scene today. So I'm using the rain boots in the set and just doing the outline for now. And then I'll be using my Stampin' Up Stampin' Rate markers. I'll be using Real Red and Pumpkin Pie, Crushed Curry, and then Granny Apple Green, and I think Highland Heather and Pacific Point. I'm trying to remember. And I'll be doing some like rainbow rain boots. So that's why I'm using these. And it's perfect because it's Pride Month. And make sure when you do this that you don't do the colors backwards. In my first card that I did the red on the opposite side because that's how it looked to me. And then when I went to stamp it, my rainbow was completely backwards. But whatever, I don't care. I'll still use it. And then I'll be using Pool Party, Gumball Green, and something limeade, Lucky Limeade, I think that is, and Garden Green. And this is just the colors that I'll be using to create my scene. So I'm using the grass stamp that comes in the set. This is a really fun set, so if you got the March Paper Pumpkin, then you'll have this set. I think it was like the free set or something. And I'm just using some masking paper. I use Simon Says Stamp masking paper, and I just cut out the rain boots, and I'm putting that over the top. That way I can do my grass stamping. So I'm just kind of alternating between the two colors. I think Garden Green and Gumball Green. They're really kind of the same, so it doesn't really matter if you just use one or both. I don't know. I just like to be extra, apparently. So I'm just stamping that all around. And it kind of looks like crap, honestly, right now, just because, you know, it's kind of splotchy, but I fixed all that in the end. If you stamp your grass enough, it fixes itself. And then I'm just going back and forth in between the greens. Oh, and here I'm putting some grass out of the top of the boot. And in my original card, I went ahead and stamped the flowers on top of that before I blended. And you don't want to do that because now I have like a pink cloud around the flowers when I blended. It doesn't look terrible, and I'm sure that whoever I give it to isn't going to even see it or notice it or care. But I was like, And then I'm taking Pool Party and Lucky Limeade and going to go ahead and do my background. And I'm not even using any masking paper or anything for this. I'm just kind of blending it and doing my thing. But see what I mean, where like kind of the splotchy kind of fixes itself once you do the blending. And I also go back in later and take some more of the grass stamp and just fill in any empty areas. And I kept getting fingerprints all over this card in the process. But I just roll with it. And then I'm taking the Pool Party. I'm going to go ahead and do my sky. And it's not the perfect blend. You'll see that it's kind of not perfect. but I actually liked that because it kind of looked like a real sky, like with clouds and all that. Like you can see the splotchy white in there, but I thought that looked cool. So then I'm just, like I said, going back with that grass stamp and just filling in any areas that I thought were empty. I really do like this stamp set. I don't have, this is the only rain boot set I have. And then here's where I take the flowers and stamp them on the top of my boots. And I'm using Melon Mambo. And then here's where we reveal all the magic by pulling off the masks. It's like my favorite part, seeing it all come together. And then I didn't want my boots to just be sitting on top of grass like that, so I went ahead and stamped some grass on top of them. That way it looks like they're just kind of sitting in the grass instead of on top of it. And then if there's any like spots, because you know it takes a while to color the boots, so it might dry a little. I did huff on them before I stamped, but if there's any spots, then you can just take your Stampin' Right markers and go back over them to smooth everything out. But if you don't feel like doing this step, you don't have to. I'm just picky. And then here I'm taking the stamp from the B set and just going over the top with it. I did straight or widen the stamp a little bit than what it was originally supposed to be, but I mean that doesn't hurt the stamp. I just made the little rainbow a little wider. That way it fit my boots. And then here I'm still trying to get marks off. I didn't want to, normally I'd probably be able to get that off with that eraser, but I didn't want to go too hard because it might take my sky off. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tape that on my card base. And this panel is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have a standard A2 size card, which is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And the card base is Lovely Lipstick, because I didn't feel like digging for my Melon Mambo, and honestly the colors are almost the same. And then I'm just taking some of the clear and frosted, I think it's like epoxy, I don't know. Anyways, they're on Stampin' Up. They're like the clear little droplet things. And originally, like, they're not the same place as on my first card. The first card, the placement's, I think, better in my opinion, but I was trying to cover up my mistakes. And then that one I was like, okay, that's way too far over there. That looks ridiculous. So I put it back. But this is the card. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I do have a couple more cards already made that I just have to do the tutorial on. They'll be ready. But you see how my first card, the rainbow, is backwards. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.